I'm going to bring them on. Yes, hello, Facebook. We are going live today, and today I have a special guest. I have Hong of TeamLogic IT. Unfortunately, Keenan was supposed to be here to speak to you more about the banking fraud that's going on, but unfortunately, he fell ill, and we're just going to wish him well, and we'll make an appointment for him to come on next time. So for right now, we have Hong who is going to talk to us about cybersecurity, fraud, hackers. You know I don't know this field, but whatever it is, he's going to talk to you. All right, Hong, go ahead and take it away. And yes, I do see your screen on here, so go ahead and start it up.
All right. Um, Good evening, everybody, wherever you are. I assume it's all in Georgia. So I am the owner of TeamLogic IT. So what we do is that we help small and mid-sized business to reduce downtime with cybersecurity and data backup. So think of us as the outsourced IT department for small and mid-sized business. Um, so just a little bit about TeamLogic IT. As you can see by the number, we are a national company with about 300 locations nationwide.
Right.
We have a lot of resources, engineers, and operation folks throughout the country. And TeamLogic IT, the company itself, has been in the IT service business for about 20 years. And we invest heavily in research and development. So we're constantly looking at the different tools that we can adapt and use to help the business making their environments more secure, and then increasing business continuity by backing up a lot of their critical information.
Okay. So those of you that don't know, this is we have what we call one-on-one. So this is for me as much as it is for everyone else. So this is like our conversation, and Hong is going to be telling me so much to help with my computer systems. He's actually going to be coming into my home office and making sure my systems are set up correctly as well. He's already explained to me that I don't have them set up correctly, and he wants to make sure that everything is secure. So I'm going to be jumping in every now and then because I have questions too. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask the questions, put it in the comments, and I will definitely get them answered. And for those of you that are tuning in afterwards, please just put replay in the chat, and I will get those questions to him as well. And then I'm gonna tag him in here so he can see these questions come up as well. All right, Hong, go ahead.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, this is just another way of telling you guys about who we are and what we do. But I can go ahead and skip this one. And I was talking to Michelle earlier, assuming that a majority of the audience that are tuning right now are either the owner of a professional financial services, or that you are a professional in the financial services industry. So as you all know, right, the financial services industry is highly regulated. So security, and making sure that you have the right controls in place for your company to process and store sensitive financial information and client information is critical. And here at TeamLogic IT, we help businesses like yours, such as CPAs or wealth management or mortgage broker firms, to put up the correct and the right amount of security measures to make sure that you are keeping your customers' information safe, and also at the same time be compliant with a lot of the regulatory rules that are out there for you guys. So just a quick stats, right? And this might not be a surprise to a lot of people. Financial services is the number one industry that has the most amount of cyber attack. Why? The reason is very clear, is that you guys process and store very sensitive, critical information, financial information, and 99% of the attack are for financial gains, right? So that makes the banking and the financial institutes um, uh, being the number one target for a lot of the actors. So therefore, it's making the financial services sector very vulnerable if you don't have the correct security measure in place. As you can see, right next to healthcare, the average cost of downtime for financial services is roughly $6 million. This is a 2023 data. So and
That's how much they
2024,
bought.
it's much larger than this, as more and more incidents has become more sophisticated.
Is this just emails or is computers? I mean, can they attack portals?
Everything.
We use portals, and a lot of times we think we are very secure with portals. And emails, I don't even use emails. People wonder why, and that's the why I don't use emails. I have about 80,000. I don't even know why, and this is why I use a portal. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, this is attack coming from all over the place. If you use the portal, relatively speaking, you are better than using an email that is not encrypted. It is better than getting your client information via paper, right? But at the same time, those portals are constantly, underneath are constantly being attacked. You just
Is
don't
that
know.
is that why they
Um,
want us to use that multi? What do you call it? I hate using it. What did you call it? Multi something factor number that we always have to do on everything now. Is that why they have us doing that?
yeah, I mean, what you're referring to is multi-factor authentication. It's just another layer of authentication when you're logging into your account, whether that's email account or your portal that you use, or any accounting softwares that you use that's in the cloud, right?
Mhm.
And most of the business don't enable multi-factor authentication. And in today's world, multi-factor authentication is a must. It is a
Mhm.
must for every single business, regardless of industry, and it's for personal as well, right? It's just putting that additional layer of protections when someone got your password or guessed your password correctly, and then if they're trying to access it, you will get notified, and that way you can immediately get alerted, and if it's not you, then you can immediately go and reset your password.
So
So it's
basically,
giving you more time to respond to things that like that.
oh, in your personal opinion, then. So, and I'm just saying this because I know there's a lot of tax professionals that may watch this. There's no reason they should not have a portal. They should always have a portal. They should always use the multi. Don't make fun of me if y'all watching the multi whatever authentication, the multi-factor authentication. They should always use that to safeguard their clients' information. Correct?
100%. Yeah, they should always use it. And most of the providers, the solutions that you guys use out there, should have that capability.
Hmm.
You just need to turn it on.
They do. They do. And it's sometimes 2 and 3 levels. Like even the software this year I used OLT Pro for the first time. And you gotta log in. You gotta put in 2 questions. Then there's authentication. Then there's one more layer, something with Google, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't turn that part on. I was like, there was already 3 different layers But I guess listening to you is one of those that really need to be on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the bare minimum that you should enable to protect your business and your customers' information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, obviously with the financial institutes, if you have the business in this industry, right? One thing that you probably already know is this FTC safeguard rule, which is a regulatory mandate for any financial institutes, right? The definition of financial institutes is very broad, but essentially it's any business that will store, transact, provide um, financial advisory, and that's accounting, that's tax prep, that's auditing, um, etc. Right? So there's this FTC safeguard rule that every single company needs to um, comply with. Right? Here are the regulations, and obviously they broke it out by size. But if you really look at the difference, right? Anything under 5,000 customers, the only two things that you are not required to do is a incident response plan, and also a dedicated individual on your company that's sort of acting as the chief security officer, right?
Well,
But
we.
other than that, every single financial institute needs to do a annual risk assessment.
Mhm.
They need to have someone who's identified responsible for information security for your organization. You need to put in the right control. So, Michelle, we talked about MFAs, right? Multi-factor authentication. You
Mhm.
see here like need-based access, right? So if you have multiple employees, they should have different access depending on their role,
Right.
and it should be need-based only, right? If they don't need that data to perform their role, they shouldn't have that kind of access.
Uh-huh.
Um, and regular monitoring and testing of your security measures, right? So that is like penetration tests and et cetera, to make sure that you guys are protected and capable. Train your employees, right? Conducting periodic, yearly, quarterly employee awareness training, right?
Mhm.
To educate your employees to identify uh, fraudster emails, text,
Mhm.
phone calls. I teaching them to not click on any links that are right. Um, and 70% of the incident happen due to human error. So humans are, and your employees are your are the weakest link, right? And then we are human. We tend to fall for it. And really, it takes one click, right? So if you're a small firm, you have 5 employees, and then from a probability perspective, you probably will have a lower chance. But if you're thinking about a company that has 100 people or 1,000 people, and and it only takes one person to click on something for the hacker to come in and then compromise your entire system.
Yeah,
Um,
the IRS has a very, and that's why they started with WISP. And at first, I was very ignorant to WISP. Like, why do we have to do all this stuff? And there's a whole procedure of everything that we have to do, kind of related to what you just said. And we do the training once a year, and I usually do stuff on CPA Academy, and they just had another one on the cybersecurity, and they're just getting they're getting better. That's all I can say. They're getting better. But this stuff, all you saying, it's all going hand in hand. This is good.
yeah, and one thing I'll point out is, if you look at the size, the 5,000 customer, right, less and greater, that is not 5,000 customers um, that you have currently actively, working with. Those are 5,000 customer records, meaning that if you are a company or a CPA firm that has been around for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
most likely that you probably process more than 5,000 customers. So this is 5,000 customers record um, uh, since the founding of your firm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there any questions that we should pause and answer?
No, no, not yet. They usually come in a little late. It all depends on how things go and how things arise. Uh, so I'm going to talk about the question I have is the remote PC that I have. And you said you didn't even know what that is. So they're using apps. Like we have a number of us use VAs that are in other countries. So when we use VAs that are in other countries, they remote into our systems. How do you feel about that?
Oh, we help the customers set up remote PCs all the time, and it is the it has it has the right purpose. For instance, it's best suited for contractors slash
Mhm,
uh, um, remote workers that are temporary, um,
mhm,
and especially when you know that they're not a full-time or part-time employees, right? um, that's when in order to protect the information that of your company, your clients, and giving them the right access to those information, right?
mhm,
That's why you want to set up a cloud PC where it's being managed and protected by your company. And we can set up a lot of the security measures, such as the basic antivirus and control. We can block a lot of the websites that that PC can allow
mhm,
to access. We can also block the file transfer from that cloud PC to prevent any data loss, right? So for a simple example I can give is that if this person is only temporary and it doesn't make sense financially and securely to give them a dedicated um, machine to access your or allow them to use their own personal device, right? Because when they use their personal device, you don't have visibility and management of it, right? So
right.
that's you give them a cloud PC where you can set up all those access controls.
I
Um,
did it.
example I give is that you know one of the client that we help them set up is they cannot from their cloud PC they cannot access Google or Google Drive because most often when someone try to steal the information, right, they tend to download the information onto the cloud PC and then they upload it onto their Google Drive, personal Google Drive, right? So there are security measures that we can put in place to prevent anyone from downloading and uploading client information.
Now, how do you feel about storing, like me storing my information on Google Drive? I have a Google Drive, the paid version, the workspace. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. That's fine. Like storing in your Google Drive. Well, if it's enterprise version, like
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. One thing I will point out to everybody is that um, even though Google and Google Drive is fairly secure, right, and they have um, a lot of redundancies built in place. But one thing that everybody should know is Google whether that's Google Drive or OneDrive by Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
they do not provide the a extensive backup capability for customers. What I mean by that is, let's say you have accidentally deleted a file in your Google
Mm-hmm.
Drive, and with Google and Microsoft, by default, you have 30 days to recognize and ask them to recover. After 30 days, that file is unrecoverable. That's in their policy. So a lot of people don't know that. So that's why every time we work with a customer, we put additional backup for their Google Drive or OneDrive, and those can be stored pretty much indefinitely.
Oh,
Just in the event that you've deleted or something, or some employee deleted something in your shared drive,
mm-hmm.
and without knowing, right? And then those data are gone, and cannot be recovered after 30 days.
Like I didn't even know that, and I didn't know that at all. And I don't like having a drive where you just download them onto like a floppy. I swear those are so easily just taken. I have some friends. I'm like, don't say their names. They talk about they put their stuff on the what do you call those little drives you have that you just stick in the USB drive. And I'm like, do you store your stuff on a USB drive? I was like, woo, can't someone just take that?
Yeah. So storing informations on different, whether that's jump drive, a USB drive, or in the cloud, it's
Mhm.
okay. It doesn't matter, but you need multiple copy of that. And Michelle, you probably heard me talk about this a long time ago. The golden rule of backup is 3-2-1. You need, for any critical information that you want to protect, you need
Mhm.
at least 3 copies. Two
Oh,
of the copies, two of the copies. Um, sorry, you need three copies in 2 different places. One of the place needs to be somewhere else, preferably in the cloud. Um,
mhm.
so that way you're able to make sure that those critical information, if it gets lost, you have somewhere to recover. Um,
Mhm.
so just remember that.
Okay. So I have Portal, I have Google Workspace, so I need one more.
Yeah, 3 copies of the same data in 2 different places. One of the 2 places needs to be somewhere else.
Okay. That makes sense. All
Yeah.
right.
So I mean, I'll talk about this last slide, and then I can stop. It's
Okay.
really about what we do and how we can help finan
Mm-hmm.
financial companies. Right. At the end of the day, we improve the technology of the financial service company to allow them to make more profit,
Mm-hmm.
get more revenue, and be more efficient, right?
Okay.
So we have expertise in a lot of the business functions that you guys uh, operate daily, right? Bookkeeping, accounting, right? A lot of the accounting softwares, um, you need a lot of integrations with different tools, right?
Yeah.
QuickBook talking with another tax prep software, talking to etc. Um, a lot of those softwares, right? If they're not constantly and proactively updated or patched, um, there will be a lot of security vulnerabilities, and that's when the hackers can sort of take advantage of those vulnerabilities and get into your system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you have office and with few employees working from the office, then your office needs to be protected with uh, a firewall, right? So network vulnerability can compromise your entire office operation if it's not treated correctly. Um, and then last but not least, I'm glad that Michelle, your a lot of your core accounting software or tax softwares are in the cloud. But don't be surprised. I mean, I've encountered a lot of customers that are still using outdated legacy um, accounting software
Yeah,
that are
from the
running
beginning.
on
They still
super
on desktop.
outdated.
Okay.
Um, it's not only it's outdated, right? The security, the software on there are so old that there are a lot of security vulnerabilities, and also at the same time it just doesn't perform well, right? So at the end of the day, what we help the CPA firms, accounting firm, is to really, reduce your customer attrition, increase your customer satisfaction, um,
Hmm.
and really increase the quality of your service, in a way that to drive additional revenue and margin for your company.
Okay. All right. I mean, this is like I said. I definitely know I needed to have something with you. Like I said, I do know I need you to come and look at what I have. Whether you come, I don't know. You do a lot of stuff remotely also, but just to look at it to make sure I'm safeguarding a little bit more now that I have more team involved as well as more clients and clients with a little bit more finances to lose. So I
Yep.
want to make sure things are set up. And the reason why I was like, yeah, let's do, I like doing one-on-ones on Facebook is that you're talking to me, but someone else will listen to it. Someone else may need it. So the way streams go, like right now on my page is not, is only like right now I see just two people watching. But the other stream we did the other day, and I had to get used to learning this. Did a stream, and I was like, no one's responding. And they was like, no, just keep talking. Get to the next day, and then you're up to 2,000 people that viewed it. So you can probably help someone else the same way that you are helping me get my systems in order. You can help them get their systems in order also. And the biggest thing is these new tax preparers that are coming into the industry, and they do not, they don't do everything by the book. Everyone's in it for money, including me. But you want to make sure that you're taking care of your customer at the same time. And I'm sorry, I'm one of my customers too. So is my family. So I want to make sure all of our stuff is safeguarded the correct way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for jumping on and speaking to us, Keenan. We hope you are actually feeling better tonight. We miss you here. And for anyone that does watch this, like I say in the replay, I'm going to try to put all of Han's information there. If you need someone to look at your IT, he is definitely the guy to do it. Him and his team are great. He has so many different things that he talks about. Again, y'all know this is not my industry, so I'm not going to babble like I know what I'm talking about. But you should definitely reach out to him. And if you ever want to and you can't find his information, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll make sure that I'll get you his information. So that was just a quick live just to talk about computer, IT, and cybersecurity, and trying to just make sure that we all are safe. So if you are soon, again, ask Michelle and I'll get something for you. Soon I'll have someone coming on talking about trust. And don't forget Profit Hers. We will be on, I think, next week. And I'll let you know what that topic is going to be also. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.